Welcome back to the 5 Napkin Burger Beer and Bourbon blog featuring us, the Happy Hour guys, and we know you've got questions. That's why we've got answers. So here's a question we hear a lot. What is small batch bourbon? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, we'll tell you. Small batch simply means this. Let's say you've got a bunch of bourbon barrels aging in the warehouse. The Master Distiller comes along, samples a bunch of them, and selects just a few to pour together. That mix is then bottled and sent to you, so the flavors from that small batch of barrels mingle together and eventually end up in your glass. And the small batch bourbon that we are featuring today for the Happy Hour guys and 5 Napkin Burger, 4 Roses Small Batch Bourbon. Recently, Mark and I spent some time with Jim Rutledge, the Master Distiller at 4 Roses, asking him why his small batch bourbon is so good. Oh, and by the way, Jim Rutledge is a member of the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame. This guy's a rock star.
What counts is the aromas you smell, what you taste, because our palates are different.
Right. One of the things that sets 4 Roses Small Batch apart from other different bourbons is that Jim Rutledge uses so many different parts in composing these whiskeys. Also, the grain recipe for this bourbon, very high rye. By some accounts, as much as 40%. So for each batch, Jim chooses around 4 barrels at a time, aged between 6 and 8 years. And this whiskey is special.
It's artistry.
Yet the fun part, and you mentioned art, the fun part, like when we were in the fermenter room or with the yeast, and you're using the senses to look at the top of a fermenter and taking, cupfuls of, in your hand to smell the aromas and feeling it, touching it, the temperature and tasting it. That's arts that will never go away.
Because they're using these incredibly varied and deep recipes, there's such depth in these bourbons.
So where might you enjoy 4 Roses Small Batch at 5 Napkin Burger? Interestingly enough, even though this is a high rye bourbon, it is deceptively sweet. There's definitely spice in there, but think more in terms of spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, and bitter orange. We may be reaching for the dessert menu on this one.
Until recently, many of 4 Roses bourbons were available only in Japan. But now that they're being distributed widely in the United States, they're winning a lot of awards and getting a lot of positive attention. Jimmy's pairing of this with dessert is a great idea, but I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna pair this with the 5 Napkin Burger itself. I think the creamy Gruyere and the sweet caramelized onions are the perfect marriage with the sweet mellowness of 4 Roses.
So 4 Roses Small Batch, a true gem. Do yourself a favor, head down to 5 Napkin and give it a try. We'll see you next time. Cheers.